Long and merry ago, in Scotland there lived, in the flanking of Kintale, near the shores of Lough Duig, a carpenter, and his name was Willie. He'd do a bit of fishing when the carpentry was slack, and he had a wee boat. He had the boat hauled up for repairs one morning, and looking it over, he decided to replace the fore part of the bell. It was all worn away. He looked in the woodshed, he found nothing to suit. He couldn't find anything in the way of driftwood along the beach that day, so away he went to the fair woods and the pines that were growing on the slopes of the hills above, to see if he could find a piece of wood growing in the right shape, or better, a piece of fallen wood, as long as it wasn't rotted. Well, he strayed and he wandered and he wandered and he strayed until dusk was fallen, and he came out at the far end of the woods in a part of the country that was very remote and unfrequented. He could see a wee light winking at him from across the moor. He'd never heard of a house up there, but he decided he'd go and see if he could find some shelter, because the night was coming on wet, and it was a neat wee house when he knocked on the door. The door creaked open, and out stared the ugliest old hag ever seen. Her nose thought a bit of meat in her chin, and the twist on her mouth made the teeth look like tusks on her. "Awfully wet night," she said. "So it is. You want now as a rain lightly. You would. Come in. If you want another whiskey while suppers are boiling, have a seat there by the fire. You'd be cold, wouldn't you? You would, oh yeah." And on she went, talking to the two of them all the while. Willie couldn't get a word in edgeways. A short while later, another door opened in the back of the house, and in came two more old hags, and among the three, the second was uglier than the first, and the third would sour the milk. Well, in all events, there was nothing wrong with the whisky. The fire was warm, and Willie was tired out. So they showed him where they had a room he could sleep in at the back of the house. And it was a real sort of an eerie little place. And there was no pictures on the wall, nothing like that, just a bed and a big chest at the foot of it. But Willie was tired, he lay into bed, didn't have his eyes well shut when he was asleep. And he was awakened a short while later by the creak of the door softly opening. He didn't move or stir, and he just squinted out through the slits of his eyes. And he saw one of the old hags coming in. She went to the foot of the bed, opened the chest, took out a wee red hat, put it on her head, stood in her right leg, left hand in the air, shouted, "Maxty, here's off to London." Vanished, like a puff of smoke. A short while later, the second old hag came in, another red hat, stood in her right leg, left hand in the air, Maxty, and so was the third. God, says Willie to himself, I always wanted to voyage to foreign parts, and this would definitely be cheaper than the train. So he got out of bed, opened the chest, and sure enough, there was another red hat in there. Put it on his head, stood on his right leg, left hand in the air, Maxty, here's off to London. Flew through the air, landed in London outside a pub. It was called the Traveller's Rest. Went inside. Who should you see? Only the three old hags, drinking triple whiskies. Awfully small measures in London, "Oh," said one of the old hags. "Come in, Willie, sit down. We didn't mean to wake you. Have a glass." So Willie had a seat, and the whiskey was flowing like water. Hours took wings. He got up to stretch his legs just. When he turned round, there was the last of the hags on her right leg, left hand in the air, shouting, "Maxty, he was back to Kintale. She's gone." A heavy hand fell on Willie's shoulder, and the owner of the place said to him, "If you'd be about to take your leave, there's a matter of a £250 bill to pay." "Oh," says Willie, "I don't have any money." "No money?" said the owner of the place. Herbert, ring for the law. And Herbert rang for the law. Now, at that time, you could incur offence by not paying £250 bills. Right enough. So, after he had explained his story to the law, they decided to hang him, just in case there was any more to it, you know. So they had him up on the gallows. The hangman put the rope around his neck and said to him, "Any last requests, mate?" "Yes, Willie. Do you think I could put on me wee red hat? You know, I wouldn't want to come down with the flu, you see." They didn't think there was any harm in that, so they untied his hands while he was getting out of his pocket. He put the right hand in his head, stood in his right leg, left hand in the air, shouted, "Mixty, mixty, here's back to Kintale." And Willie found himself outside his own front door, the rope still around his neck, and the whole animal of the gallows tree still attached to it. And you know, it proved to be the very bit of wood he needed for his boat.